Hello, good evening. How the devil are you? Welcome from me and Mini Me here. Hope you are well. We've got him back. Steve's in the house. Yeah, he's been away. Is it a coincidence that he's been away and we started winning? I'm not casting any aspersions whatsoever, but he's been living all right. Here we go. It is the prediction show.
It's time! Strap yourself in, because we're set up, switched on, and ready to go.
You are watching and listening to Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and your favourite podcasts. Till I Die TV, your first choice for everything Leicester City. Tune in and join in now.
And now, here's your host.
Right, Chris.
All right, I'm a lot better than I was. 44 days is a long, long time in football. Just ask Brian Clough, or for that matter, Liz Truss. And they both lasted 44 days in what they were doing. Rishi, feeling nervous at all? Look, hey, I tell you what, two wins on the trot. Everybody that hated our goalkeeper, Danny Ward, equal third with 4 clean sheets. He has kept as many clean sheets as Sanchez at Brighton, Raya at Brentford, even Ramsdale at Arsenal, and Sarr at Wolverhampton, Loris at Manchester United, Loris at Tottenham Hotspur, De Gea at Manchester United, and Alisson at Liverpool. He ain't that bad, is he? What do you think, Brad?
Well, I've been saying it for the last 3 games now, if you include Palace and that, saying another clean sheet for the Wolves, worst goalkeeper ever, according to some fans. I mean, it's just nice though, isn't it? I mean, Roger summed it up perfectly, actually, in his words about Greenwood, saying it's always going to be difficult to replace Casper, and it's taken a little bit. He's hit the disaster, but he's come through it, and now we all think we've got a very much reassured number one to take them steps.
We have. Let's bring him in, and he'll be really, really happy, because looking at the form table for the last 6 games, we were both Spurs. Good evening, Steve. Welcome home.
Thank you very much.
Nice to have you back. Yeah, I mean, we are actually, based on the last 6 games, we are actually 6th in the form charts. I mean, my God, getting a nosebleed soon.
Up and onwards, that's all you can say. Up and onwards.
And you can only play what's in front of you. And this weekend, it just happened to be Manchester City.
Yeah, no problem. I've just been watching them now. Bad team. Not going to win a thing. They should be in the championship. No, it's going to be... I think it's the right time to play them. I think on the back of 2 wins, bit of bit of joy going around.
I've got to be honest with you, mate. I was talking to a Man City fan who's coming on the show tomorrow, Thursday night, for the preview, and he actually is not 100% confident. He said, their away form leaves a lot to be desired, and of course we are, like you said, on that 2 wins.
Yeah, I think as well. I think the size of the pitch and that takes a big part into it as well. It's going to be tight. They're going to do a lot of possession stuff, but it's not where there's going to be a lot of spaces where it's going to hurt you so much as if they were playing at at home on the big pitch.
No.
So some of the games I have seen when they played on smaller pitches, they do tend to struggle if the opposition's in the face.
Well, all we can hope is somebody go out and buy Haaland a dodgy Chinese between now and the end of the week. Give him a bit of food poisoning. I'm not wishing him harm like Savannah.
They just took him off now.
Sorry, Steve.
They just took him off at half time, so they might be saving him.
Oh God, no. Well, I've got to be honest with you. I'm going in for a checkup tomorrow at hospital, as you know, up both ends. I can send him some of this, which is Picolax, which I tell you what, that clears you out. So I'll send him some of that in the post. But Andrew's in. Good evening. How are you? Highfields. Good evening. He says childhood legend Steve Lynex. Yeah, that's all right as long as you're not 50, Highfields. Well, that would make Steve. But hey, legend, you're right. Marty versus Haaland. I've got to be honest with you. I think Marty, now he's been put on the right side, as in the right side, I think he's done a lot better than he did at the start on the left. But, it's down to Brendan. We know whatever we predict, whatever formation or squad we pick, we'll never get it right. But Terry says a true point here. Don't worry, Haaland will never be crippled when face gets to him. He's been a good buy, hasn't he, Steve?
He has. I think he's brought a lot of stability at the back. I think it's a game that's going to suit him. I think he likes playing against the big, strong centre forwards. And I hope Brendan just gets his tactics right by saying, go for him, just go for him. That's what you got to do, attack.
What I like about phases, Brad, is that when he gets that ball, if he's got nobody to pass, he won't take a risky pass and pass it on to a defender who might be closed down or back to Danny Ward. He is there and he is kicking it into Rosette.
Yeah, he's your very classy, no-nonsense centre-back, isn't he? With some dazzling feet as well at times. I mean, that beating them, leaving them 3 players on the deck and still getting the pass away to a teammate was something to behold. I mean, it's something I said in our post-match show, didn't I, Chris, about there's one area we have been consistent in, and that's replacing our driving force at the back too. Because we know Evans is reliable, he's an anchor, but we've always,
He's a what?
Well, that can be taken anyway. The subtitles are probably quoting it as that. So he's an anchor. The ship has been plummeted to the floor by it. One of them.
Right.
Yeah. We've always had an attacking-minded centre back, and I said, the business we've upgraded. We upgraded from there originally. We upgraded to Maguire. We upgraded Maguire to the Snake for Fafana, but he was incredible, whether we like to admit it or not. And now we've upgraded it even better for even less money. We've been really good at getting that player done, and he could have Haaland in his back pocket, and I would honestly can see it happening. He's that reliable with what he does. The way he reads the game is brilliant.
Right, I'm going to ask you both a question here, and one-word answer. I know that's buggered. That's buggered Brad up. But one-word answer. Would you sooner have Fafana or would you sooner have Faze?
Faze.
Steve, we'll come to you first.
Oh, I thought it was just...
I'd have Faze because Faze wants to play for the club. Sorry, it's not a one answer.
Okay, well, let's take Fafana back to last season's Fafana when he was fit. Fafana on form or Faze? Would you still go Faze?
Yeah.
Right. And Brad?
They're both really similar. Right now, obviously, it's Faze. Cheaper. Turn Chelsea down for us. But the second part of the question that you posed, on form and both committed, Fafana has to hedge it. I'm sorry he does. He could make some mazy runs as well, and he was just as good in the box. He has that edge from
that, ladies and gentlemen, is Brad's one-word answer.
Hey, Steve got multiple words, and I used the advantage, right? I used it to my advantage. Still one of the top 10 shortest answers I've given, though.
Yeah, that should be a top 10 battle, shouldn't it? The
This week.
Luke's in, True Red. Yeah, I thought you get excited at that first result. I mean, Steve, one job, Liverpool. I mean, I watched that, and Forest, in fairness, had a game plan. They put 10 men behind the ball. At one point, they were trying to get the ball to Salah, and there was, I think, 5 Forest defenders up against Salah. They had a brilliant game plan, and they executed it well.
Tell you, football's a funny game. You know, we go on the prediction show and we say that Liverpool are a banker week in, week out. You know, you're just going to go, yeah, Liverpool are on the run. But the tide's changed, and it's a case of now, this is the time to play Liverpool because you don't know, you know, even if they put the same team out, you don't know how they're going to play. It all seems to have gone haywire for some reason.
Yeah.
So where they used to be a banker every week, no, you're wondering if they're going to get a result now.
Luke, is it okay to move on now? I mean, this is a Leicester channel, and I do know you like Forest. I don't mind mentioning them. Give them. Do you know what? It's nice. All joking aside, it's nice to have a proper rival to banter with. And I'm not saying that they're any more of a rival than Derby or Coventry, the East Midland club, but you're more of a rival than Villa or Wolves. So it's nice to have you back for that. Well, I've got to say, Manchester City, Brighton. I mean, the one score that was spot on, and I got it 3-1. But did you see the Chelsea United game at all, Brad?
No.
Oh, well, the end of that one. All I was going to say was, if you did, just tune in for the last 10 minutes, because apart from that, it was boring. But what happened to Villa? We'll stick with you, Brad, because you didn't see that one. What happened to Villa? Sacked Gerrard, 4-0. Wow.
We all pretty much said it when he was appointed. We weren't that impressed. We thought he'd get a manager bounce with his name, but he hasn't really impressed. I'm not surprised, to be honest with you. I think we've all probably said this. Leeds, we'll get on to in a minute about Marsh, but the same could be said for him. Probably all feared he was going to get a sack. He shows he was about as inept at managing at this level as Scott Parker, because he clearly restricted them. Look, we don't go and batter somebody 4-0 after you've just been beat 3-0 by Fulham. With the greatest respect, you don't play like you did against Fulham and turn it around the way you did there. You just don't.
No. I mean, Steve, Southampton, Arsenal were lucky to hold on.
They were, after the great start they've had and the way they were playing. Somebody had to upset the apple cart, but I didn't think it'd be so soon. It could be a down run for them now. They might struggle over the next few games because of that result on its own, because they were riding high and they thought they were, so it all depends on now how they do in the next game. Well,
stick with you while we're with you. Poor Tottenham losing. Newcastle, top 4.
Man, the reasons why I hate Spurs, and if you look at the game, and I think the FA should do something about it, is why have you always got 6 or 7 Tottenham players pushing, handling the referee in his face, trying to change his mind, trying to run the game for him towards the end where they were pushing players, trying to drag them off the pitch. Total disgrace. I think the referees should now turn around and say, or the FA should turn around and say, if you're hounding the referee, 5-6 players, you should book the lot of them straight off and stop it.
They had introduced the rule because of Man United were always well known for it, weren't they? Surrounding the referee. And I thought it was supposed to be just with the captain, but it seems to be being let go. But, we will see, if that was Leicester or Fulham or something like that, maybe it would happen. But hey, Brad, I love a stat, but I was just talking to Dan then on his show. They had more shots in one half than we had in one game. 5 shots, but 4 of them on target and 4 of them straight in the net. What a win.
Yeah, and that's exactly what matters in any team. It doesn't matter where you are in the league. It doesn't matter if you face 50 shots. if they have 3 on target and don't score any, and you have 3 shots and 3 on target and you score all 3, then unlucky to the other team. They should be more accurate with the shooting. And we were deadly from ours, weren't we, Chris? Because 21 shots, I think it was, but 3 of them were maybe in the box.
Yeah.
So it's what we needed. And sorry.
Yeah, we did. No, we did. But right, moving on to this upcoming weekend, we're back to a 1-game week. Thank God, it's always easier when it's that way. Oh, Saturday morning, we never do well, Steve. Leicester City hosting the aforementioned Manchester City. Can you see Leicester getting anything from this?
I'm going to go with the old reverse psychology again. I think that's the way to go, because when I keep backing Leicester, they've been losing. So Morris has just missed a penalty, by the way, for Man City.
Oh, we are.
What a shame.
So I'm going to say that Man City is going to be typical Man City. They're going to have all the possession and that, and tighter pitch. I don't think it's going to be like they usually do when they go out and score 3 or 4 goals. Leicester, absolutely 100% turnaround, and I think there's goals all over the pitch now. It's not just down to the forwards. You can see more and more goals coming from different positions. Players who's had bad times lately, Tielemans, people like that, they're starting to find the form, and I think you can see it in their play now that they are enjoying the football again. And I think that's the main thing. So I want Leicester to win, but I've got to go with the reverse psychology, and I think it's going to be close, and I think it's going to be 1-0 to Man City.
1-0. Okay, let me lock that in. Brothers, what about yourself?
I mean, this has become a bit more of an easier game for the players to deal with mentally, because it's more of a free hit now, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, we always say that when we play Man City because of the difference in quality between the squads. Let's face it, they're a whole different breed with some of their talents they've got. But being 16th now, yeah, we could slip back into the bottom 3 if results go against us, but I'd rather be 16th knowing it's only going to be a point or maybe goal difference than be on you know what I mean, like on 8 points and still thinking we could be 5-6 points adrift. And I think the confidence has just come for a right time, and I can't go against Leicester on these. I just can't. I've got a funny feeling that we're not going to be quite able to stop Haaland, but I'm going to go for a big score here. I can see us scoring, and I'm going to go Leicester City 3, Manchester City 3.
Wow.
I think there will be some late drama as well, and I think it could be either team bagging a late equaliser.
We know what will happen. We'll still be last on match of the day.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
I've got to agree. I mean, it is almost a free hit. I can see there being goals. And if we lose this, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not even going to blame Brendan, because, like you say, most teams I think will lose at some point to Manchester City. I'm going to go for a draw, but I'm not going to agree with you, Brad. I am going to go for the first Desmond of the evening, and I'm going to go 2-2.
Desmond, folks.
Yes, just in the hope more than anything. But
same there, mate. I've just got this feeling though. The goals we scored at the weekend, we've got a bit of confidence, and I just think we'll be on the more from. I think if we was on 8 points, we'd be going as a nervous defensive wreck, and I'd have to go with Man City. But why not? Why not?
But Steve, when you look at these games, and you are looking at 3rd versus 16th, 17th. We are now. No. Yeah, 17th we are, because West Ham won the other day. So you're looking at 3rd to 17th. Does it? I mean, all right. I know goal differences make a difference, but you might as well go down fighting and just go for it.
That's football, I think Leicester's gone through a bad patch where all the fans and everybody's been nailing the players and the manager, but it's the performance, the way you lose. If you go down and play Man City or anybody and you give 100% and you you're all at it and you get the fans off the edge of the seats, they won't mind losing because they've seen that you've put the effort in and you've seen that everybody's given 100%. And that's what, that's the least they can expect. It's the games where you don't put in the 100% and you're walking around the pitch and you're not showing any interest. And that's where all the anger from the fans and the frustration comes from. And that's how football used to be. That's how football should be.
Yeah.
If they see you trying, if they see you doing it, they haven't got a problem because they'll turn around and say at the end of the day, great game, the best team won.
Yeah.
And
True, there has gone 4-0 Manchester City. Like is that the same 4-0 like when we played you? True. Terry is going for good evening. Terry is going for a 2-2. He's going for a Desmond as well. David, I'm hoping for a doggy performance from us, but my head says we lose 2-1. Maybe, however, if we play with confidence, I think we may actually give them all they can handle. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those seasons. Who would have said, no disrespect, Luke, that Forest would have beaten Liverpool? Who would have said that Southampton wouldn't have got stuffed by Arsenal? Talking of Arsenal, Anthony, good evening, sir. Has gone 3-1 Manchester City. Okay. We are looking at the next game, Steve. So we are looking at Bournemouth versus Spurs. Spurs, like I say, are down in 9th on form at the moment. And Bournemouth lost their first game at the weekend. Can they get back to winning ways? It's at Bournemouth, small ground, crowd very close to the pitch.
Yeah, I hope Bournemouth watch the game with the last Tottenham game where the players are getting ratty. All I'd say to the Bournemouth is just rattle a few, get a few bookings against them, wind them up, and their game will go. And hopefully they'll send 2 or 3 off because I just can't handle little cheats. So to me, I'm going to go 2-0 Bournemouth straight away.
Right. There's no surprise there. No surprise. Whoever came on to stand in for you did so on the understanding that for the Tottenham and Arsenal games that they always had to go for the opposition. Brad, can you... Well, I couldn't have seen Newcastle getting anything from Tottenham, but they did. Can Bournemouth spring a surprise?
It's possible. You just wonder if Bournemouth's indecision to concrete the intern manager or whichever the word is properly to say the one that's temporary in charge is kind of backfiring because they've been a bit sluggish in the last couple of games, haven't they? Since that run, the run came to an end and they've looked a bit sluggish. But Tottenham, it's either Conte's Spurs or Spursy FC turn up, and it just depends which one turns up because they're just as capable to lose this game, Spurs, the way they are. I mean, Lloris was ridiculous in the Newcastle game. There's no reason for him to be outside his box. I don't understand why he thought they need to do it. But if Conte gets them playing the way he wants, then they should walk this game, really, with the talent they've got. Mm-hmm. I kind of hope Bournemouth don't go back to getting beat every week because I like them as a club. But I think they're losing this one. I'm going to go 2-0 Spurs.
2-0 to Spurs. I am thinking much like you, Brad, and I think they've had an amazing post-manager bounce with Scott Parker going. And I think that says more about Scott Parker than it just being a post-manager bounce. I just think he upset so many players. But I think it's going to come to an end. And I've totally agreed with you, and I've gone 2-0 as well. Talking about commitment to managers, Steve, Wolves have committed to the current manager until the new year. Fans don't agree with it. Brentford were on the hiding from Villa, 3-0 down within 14 minutes. Can they come back against Wolves? Wolves, 5 goals all season.
Yeah, I think Wolves have totally lost it. They used to be a good draw or away team specialists over the last couple of seasons. I think the Portuguese can, all the ones that are there, the Portuguese players, I think now they're finding it hard. I think they're going to struggle with having too many of the Portuguese players in. You can see it throughout the team. I think it was a big mistake getting rid of the centre half, Cody.
Cody, totally.
You know, and I can't see him scoring. To be honest, I can't see him winning the game at the moment. And Brentford have been consistent. Okay, they've had a couple of dodgy results, but they're at home and they'll be up for this one. I think I'm going to go for 3-1 Brentford.
3-1 to Brentford. Are you surprised, Brad, at the commit? Not are you surprised at Steve's prediction? Are you surprised at Wolves being so indecisive over the manager?
It doesn't make sense. I mean, you look how quickly Villa appointed, which kind of tells you that maybe he was a ticking time bomb. They were going to get rid of him, so they just waited for clearance from Emery, because that happened quick, didn't it?
Yeah.
But Emery goes to Villa. You don't even inquire about him. I know people think he's a bit bizarre, but he didn't do that badly with Arsenal, given the things, and he's proven his success.
He's a trophy winner.
Yeah, he is. He's a serial European trophy winner.
There's a lot of people saying that had he been given the support that Arteta had been given, it would have been a different story. But
yeah, who knows? I could understand if, with the greatest respect to their temporary manager, I could understand if they had a named face, a really well-known named face number 2. And what I mean by that is someone that's maybe dipped into the game a bit, played, or has had a spell as a high-ish level manager. I don't really know him. I don't think he's played or done anything at any level. Wolves have kind of been potato peeled at their own game, and it's not nice, is it? Because they had a manager who clearly lost the dressing room and chucked out half the team. My dad's a Wolves fan, and he says Cody baffled him, this player baffled him, all these players are let go and sent out on loan when they're low on strikers. You're seeing that with their performances, the goals they're shipping and the goals they're not scoring, and I just don't see it changing. We normally say, well, last year it was Norwich, wasn't it? We said, oh, well, that's one. We kind of laughed and joked saying Norwich is the team that guarantees you've already got to be better than 2 teams in the division because they always get relegated. That could be Wolves this season. I really fear for them. And I honestly think this is going to get ugly because this guy clearly can't do a job at this level. And I honestly think it's going to be a battering. I think Brentford are going to hammer Wolves 5-0. I honestly do.
Wow. Okay.
If you change mine, you got it the round.
Oh yeah, you give Wolves 3-1, but Steve went 3-1 to Brentford.
Did I? Sorry, mate. Sorry. 3-1.
He's trying to help you get points, Steve, and now he's trying to rob you.
That's it, yeah, mate.
No, that's why it's up on the screen so everybody can see it. Wolves have only won 1 game this season. That was against Forest. Well, they've only won 1 game. They've won 2 games, but the last one they've won the only one they've won in the last 5 was against Nottingham Forest. They've conceded 13 goals. Forest have conceded 15. Bournemouth have conceded 15, and Bournemouth let 9 in 1 game. And Wolves are up there. I mean, but 12 games in, 5 goals scored. They had 21 shots at us at the weekend. And yes, we were keeping them out and keeping them at a distance. So there were long pots and hope and hit and hoof and what have you. But I think they've given the guy the job until the new year. I think they'll be down. I think by then, I think they're showing no ambition to stay up at all. I don't think it will be 5. I've got to be honest with you. I don't think it will be 5. I can't see them scoring, Steve. I've got to be honest with you. But I am going to go 3-0 to Brentford. I do apologise to people. I didn't read out the Bournemouth Spurs results. So, David, good evening. How are you? He's gone 1-1, Bournemouth Spurs. Anthony's gone 1-0 to Bournemouth, surprisingly. And Luke's gone 2-0 to Spurs. Anthony's, as this time's gone 2-0, Brentford due a win. Yes, they are. They are due a win, and I think it will come. Old Potter versus New Potter, Brighton and Hove Albion hosting Chelsea. How do you see this one going, Steve?
I think Chelsea are going to win this one. They've had another good win again in Europe tonight. I think he's starting to get the players to play how he wants them. It's going to be hard. Brighton are good. They're solid at home, but I think Chelsea's got the momentum now. They're not running away with results. They're not scoring loads of goals, but they're getting the results. So I think Chelsea will win this one. I'd say 2-0.
2-0. Okay, let me make sure I get it the right way around this time. There we go. Brad,
No, you got it wrong. You got it wrong again.
Yeah, you put Brighton.
Oh, for fuck's sake. my mind is up my arse, which will be something else will be there tomorrow. So do forgive me. No, Chelsea. Keep an eye on what I'm typing, please, guys, because it could go anywhere tonight with my mood. Brad, Brighton, Chelsea second in the form table. Brighton fallen off since Potter. They seem to have lost their magic. But have Chelsea done the right thing going for an English manager?
Not necessarily English, but they've done the right thing in maybe trying to settle for a manager, and only time will tell whether he's up to the task. I mean, he's got a very good squad available to him, but he's made some impacting changes. I mean, I don't think a lot of Chelsea fans thought they'd see Kepa be trusted with the number 1 jersey, but he's working something there, and you kind of see the knock-on effect, don't you? At Brighton, they've slipped a little bit in the form, but Trossard always scores a goal. He seems to be, we talk about Maddison popping up for us, but he's doing wonders for Brighton. I think he's their top goal scorer. He's having a killer season. So while they've got him and a few others there that have been together a while to pull the squad together and get them through this dodgy patch, I think Brighton will be all right this season. I just don't see them winning this game. Chelsea have picked up form. The goals are coming a bit more freer for them. A bit more exciting than it was under Tuchel, you get the feeling. And I'm going to go for 3-1 Chelsea win.
Right, let me make sure I get this the right way around and the right score.
A 1 first, then a 3.
I think I've got it. It's making sense now, guys. Get me abacus, love, will you? I need it. I mean, Chelsea not lost in 5. They are down to 5th behind Newcastle, but they played the game less. Brighton are still sat there in 9th on 15 points, but they haven't won in 5. To me, this can only go one way. I'm going to go between the pair of you, and I'm going to go 3-0 to Chelsea. I think Brighton, and it's a shame that a team like Brighton were not going to achieve the potential because he's moved, because Potter's moved on. But hey, there we go. Such is life. Such is life. Anthony has gone Chelsea to win 1-0. Anthony, I was thinking about you the other day. Now that's a bit frightening, isn't it? Not only am I thinking about you, Anthony, but you're an Arsenal fan, so that is really double scary. Are you still doing the prediction show with Charlie Herbert, or whatever it was? Just out of interest. Steve, Saturday night, Crystal Palace hosting Southampton. Palace are struggling, and I hate to say this, but it's going to sound right, but Vieira's brought out the race card. It's funny. Let's distract. Let's bring out the race card. Blah, blah, blah. Sorry, mate. Your team's just not playing very well. But they have won 2. They have won 2 in the last 5. And Southampton, I mean, I said the other day in the review show last night, well, somebody please tell me what is the point of Southampton? I mean, they either win, they lose, they're in, out, they're doing the hokey cokey every week, just short of shaking it about. I don't know what the point of Southampton is. Which way do you see this one going? Is it going to be a boring 0-0?
Well, I think your comments strike home. You don't know how Southampton are going to be. You thought they were going to get smashed against Arsenal, but it didn't happen. And Palace at the moment, I think they're playing. They're not playing as a team. There's too many individuals in there that want to do their own flash things, and I think it costs them dearly. So for this one, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
You're going to go for a 1-1 draw. What? I should be able to get that the right way around, shouldn't I? Even with the night time having. I know what I'm going to go for, but what are you going to go for, Brad?
This is probably the most difficult game on the list to sort of predict. I think if you look at the two teams, because they're always a bit mediocre at times, aren't they? And they both seem to have been going through that recently. More so Palace. So what is it about Southampton, Chris? You just said it, but what is it about Southampton? Just when you think they're starting to be dead and buried and they're going to do something to change things up a bit, they start winning games. So now, they're not going to be getting their manager gone anytime soon, which some Southampton fans were starting to do. Vieira's always been a hothead, and it seems to have carried him through and into his managerial career. He was a hothead as a player. The weirdness of the actual excuse, if you think about it, just to try and use it, is just a little into it, in my opinion. It's hard to predict, and for that reason, I'm going to sit on the same fence as Steve, just a little higher up, and I'm going to go for a Desmond. I'm going to call him a Desmond
of the evening. There we go. Again, that's an easy one to get the right way. I've got to say, move up, guys, because I'm on that same fence with you. But I think it's going to be one of those last on match of the day, and the most exciting thing we may end up with is a player being sent off, because I'm going to go 0-0. I just think these two teams are going to cancel each other out. But Anthony agrees with you, Brad, and he's gone for a Desmond as well. Newcastle, wow. I mean, the plaudits we're giving Newcastle. I love the manager, as you know. I've been down there. I've seen what he's done. Great appointment. Backed him. They're doing it step by step. Whether they'll finish in the top four or not at the end of the season, who knows? Villa, Emery's not going to be in charge for this one. It's still going to be the guy that took them to 4-0. But it is at Newcastle, this one. Is it going to be a Newcastle win, or are Villa going to give Emery a nice welcome present?
Newcastle, breath of fresh air. I love watching Newcastle play. When he first took over and things weren't going too right and people were saying that he was the wrong choice, I think he's shown people that he's not. He's got the players that look mediocre a season or 2 seasons before in the team now that are playing like they should be, like they are stars. On the other hand, you got Aston Villa. They showed with that 4-0 result that they didn't like Gerrard and they didn't want to play for Gerrard, because you could see a total change in all the players, not with the way they play, but the look on their face and things like that. But I don't think it's going to be enough to stop Newcastle. Newcastle look like a team now where the goals can come from anywhere. They're getting more direct in the play, the way they're playing, and breath of fresh air. So I'm going to go for this one. I'm going to go for 3-0 Newcastle.
3-0. Okay. I think that's the right way around. Top of the form table, Brad, on Newcastle.
Yeah, they are, and they're not slipping either. I was one of them that thought they'd do well, but they'd still have the occasional slip. It's still early in the season, I know, but they've looked good as well, haven't they, recently? They've not just got a bit lucky and, it's all false result. They've done it and they've done it well. This is going to be a tough game, though. They probably still were hoping Steven Gerrard had a job at this point to make this a bit easier. Because them players that Villa that haven't been performing, not only did they perform against Brentford, but they showed their true quality of what they really can be with the right manager. They're going to want to impress. This is another free shot for him to sit in the stands and really get a grip. They're not going to want to drop the standards. It's going to be a difficult afternoon for Newcastle, and this is why I'm going to go for back-to-back Desmonds. I I think Villa are going to get something from Newcastle. I think it's going to be a high score or 2-2.
2-2 again. Okay. Newcastle have only conceded 10 goals this season. That's the lowest. They've conceded less than Arsenal, less than Manchester City, less than Chelsea. They've all conceded 11. So he's getting it right at both ends. They've only lost one game all season. Probably their downfall is they've drawn 6. But it is a what did they say? It is a job in the process. I know what I want to say, and I can't think what the phrase is, but
work in progress.
A work in progress. I knew I had one here for a reason, Brad.
I know.
So I am going to go for a Newcastle win because I think they had that post Gerrard bounce, but I think they wish they were probably not away to Newcastle for the next game. It's going to be. I'm going to go 1-0. No, I'm not. I'm going to go 2-0. So I was going to go 2-0, then I changed my mind to 1-0. Let me go back to 2-0. So I'm going to go 2-0 to Newcastle. And Anthony has gone 2-1 to Newcastle. I just think Newcastle just got the defence sorted there. Colonel is in late, but good evening. He's gone Man City win, Bournemouth draw, Brentford win, Brighton win, Palace draw, Newcastle win. That's get in there and get them all done in one go, Colonel. Welcome along. Nice to see you. Nice. Fulham hosting Everton. It's on TV on Sky. It's the 5:30 kickoff. Fulham. I've got to be honest with you, Steve. Marco Silva, I thought he was going to have the same problem as Scott Parker in this division. He hadn't got a good, record of doing well in the Premier League, but he's got them sat in 17th on 18 points. They've won 5 games, but they've scored as many as they've conceded, 22 goals. Up against an Everton side who tend to play better at home. But they're up in 12th. They've won 3. They lost 3 on the trot to Man United, to Tottenham, and to Newcastle. So maybe they were difficult games. But they won last weekend against Crystal Palace. Which way do you see this one going?
Hard, this one, I think. For the reasons you've just said there, Fulham scored as many as or let in as many as they score, and I think that's going to be their problem. Everton, I think, are starting to look more solid now, and I think a couple of months down the season you'll see a big change with Everton. This is going to be close, this one, but for all the goals that Fulham score, I think Everton will neutralise them, so it's going to be. I'm going to say 1 each.
I'm going to go 1-1. I'm always relieved when you guys go for a draw tonight because it means I shouldn't get the score wrong. Brad, Fulham are 8th in the form table. Everton are 10th. It's hard to split them. I do know you are obviously a big Lampard fan. Is he going to do things with Everton this week? You're about as big a Lampard fan as Steve is an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, exactly. I'm more of a fan of Perez than I ever will be of Frank Lampard as the manager. And for that reason, I'm not going to throw any curveballs anybody's way. So don't be thinking I'm going to upset the odds there, because Fulham have impressed me. I mean, 3rd time's a charm, right? To stop spending money and trying to stay up. Finally, you get there. But Mitrovic is on fire. Who knew scoring 40,692 goals in the Championship give you confidence to do it in the Premiership? But they look good. The appointment, obviously, Silva, we all know his record. We obviously thought maybe he's going to be the first one sacked to do a little Watford there, but they've done really well. I just don't rate it. I don't rate Lampard as a manager. And that's literally the only reason to pretty much not like Everton and think they're going to do badly. I just don't rate him as a manager. I don't think he's got the right credentials to manage at that level. when he had it gifted to him on a plate at Chelsea, he did all right, but that soon fell apart. So I don't think he's going to do any better here. Fulham are going to win this, and they're going to win it 3-0.
3-0. He is actually at longer odds to be sacked than Brendan Rodgers at the moment.
Not for much longer.
Yes, I think it will be a Fulham win. Mitrovic is on fire. Sometimes, like I say, scoring goals in the second tier is no guarantee that you're going to score them in the first tier. Akinbaye. I don't know if anybody. I mean, I love Simon Jordan on TalkSport. I don't know if anybody listens to him, but he was talking about managers and sackings, etc. And one of the quotes that he said was that sometimes the owners do go on what the managers say, but sometimes, you can't. It's not just a sackable offence buying a bad player, because obviously they're good if you buy them, but you can at the end of the season go, why the hell did we buy this player? So just as I did with Akinbaye, I thought you probably weren't the only guy, the only chairman, Simon Jordan. But I'm going to go 2-1. Whatever he's doing, Marco Silva, he is getting the goals out of Mitrovic. Wow, Anthony's gone for a big 3-3.
Stop copying my own work, Anthony. That's the top one, wasn't it?
Fulham 1, Mitrovic 0. Mitrovic 0. Everton 1-0. Mitrovic, an Arsenal fan. I love him when we bought him. He's doing well. Fulham 2, Everton 0. Welcome back, Luke. How are you? You've gone for a Fulham win as well. Look, talking about managers, for some reason this game is on Saturday night at 7:45. I don't go why. Liverpool fans don't know why. Maybe it's because it's late at night and it's going to be, it's Halloween, and they think that Michael Jackson might come out of his grave and pinch Jesse Marsh and drag him back down with him. Who knows? I mean, it surely is only a matter of time, Steve, for Jesse Marsh. But we were saying this about Brendan. Liverpool can't be as bad as they were against Forest two weeks running, can they?
Well, I think the question you got to ask is Klopp losing the dressing room? He's going through a patch now where, like you say, Brendan Rodgers has gone through, and a couple of other managers, is that when results are not going their way, you start to see him doing changes now, which Liverpool are not used to. He's starting to come up with stupid, silly excuses. He's starting to argue with players. His faithful players have been there with him, and I think that's going to cause a lot of confusion. And I think if Leeds can keep it tight and make the game hard for Liverpool, I think, the longer it goes 0-0, they'll stay in the game. Because I don't think, over the last couple of seasons where Liverpool's been a banking result every week, it's the same thing now. You can't bank on Liverpool winning, because I think the way they are at the moment, it's the time to play them. And if Leeds need to get a result, I don't think they'll get a win, but I think they need to get a result. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
A 1-1 draw. I've got to say that I don't know which week you're in here, Anthony, but Anthony's gone for Liverpool 1, Fulham 1. I don't know when that's being played. I don't know when that is being played, but don't give me the lottery numbers, whatever you do. Okay, Brad, this surely has got to be Jesse Marsh, the final nail in his coffin, hasn't it? Ted Lasso, goodbye.
Soccer Ball FC. I don't care how bad Liverpool's form is. I don't care how much I'm dreading them doing a Jurgen and giving out Christmas charitable points. It's going to be a beating. It is Leeds. They have a shocking manager. He is shocking. He couldn't manage he couldn't manage a piss and a brewery. He is that Bradley Johnson of the era when he managed, I think it was Swansea. He's awful. He should go back to coaching the football teams over in America where they're of a lesser standard of football, I'm afraid, because he is awful. I mean, people will say, oh, look, Leeds 3-2 against Fulham. It was a consolation. It was like stoppage time, and they were awful. Their own fans were saying the game was awful. So it's not even like they can take anything from that. They're getting slapped left, right, and centre. And unfortunately, this manager hasn't got the confidence and the know-how that certain managers have. I mean, Brendan's clearly done something enough to change it around and get the confidence going to get some results for Leicester. So that he just looks dead. He was shaking his head at 2-0 against us like he's already lost the game. What's that tell your players? If you've seen your manager like that, see your manager doing that, you just go, what's the point? You obviously don't believe we can turn this around. He'll be gone. And Liverpool are going to think that this is their Rangers. It's going to be 4-0 Liverpool. They're going to Rangers these and going to batter them.
So you're not a fan of Jesse Marsh then?
Oh, yeah. Did that slip that I'm not a fan of it? No,
I'm reading between the lines.
Yeah, I tell you what, mate, you're quite good at it, because I thought I was quite stuck on that.
No. I could see the way that was going. I have to be honest with you. I'm sounding like Anthony now. Liverpool can't be that bad twice in a row. No way. Jurgen Klopp will give them a shouting, and it is obviously it's back at Anfield. Leeds United are so bad. Jesse Marsh, at least have a good weekend with the kids at Halloween, because you won't have a job on Monday morning. And I am going to go. I don't know which way to go. Well, I'm gonna go one side of you, Brad, but I don't know which way to go. I'm gonna go. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna go 5-0. Why not? 5-0.
It's working, Steve. I told you.
Liverpool 0, Leeds 2, says Luke. I can't see Jurgen being sacked yet. Bobby's in. Good evening, Bobby. How the devil are you, sir? Welcome along. Liverpool 1, Leeds 1. He's caught up with the right week. Now then, Steve. Right. I said this the other week to you. There are certain things that we will allow, and I'm quite happy that I always will accept that you will go to whoever is playing Arsenal, whoever's going Spurs. It's a given. But there are exceptions to every rule in the world. And when Nottingham Forest is involved, that is an exception. But don't let me put any pressure on you. But please give me your prediction for Arsenal at the Emirates, hosting the team that I believe are bottom of the league.
Yeah, I've got to admit, I wasn't in Germany last week. I was in hospital because I give the Arsenal, the win last time. But no, I'm gonna do it again this week. I'm gonna do it till Man City are about 10 points in front. I don't want Man City to be that far ahead. So on that basis, and that's all I'm going to say, I want Arsenal to keep winning, so the season's not over. So I'm going to go 2-0 Arsenal.
2-0 Arsenal. We love you, Steve. We've missed you. It's great to have you. Let me just have it. Here we go. You deserve this.
Thank you.
Oh, that was better than any Player of the Season award at the at Filbert Street. 2-0 to Arsenal. Well said, sir. They didn't play brilliantly against Southampton, Brad. Forest did, though, against Liverpool, albeit, like I say, they didn't just park the bus, they parked the whole bloody fleet. But it worked for them. But is this going to be another win for Forest, or are Arsenal going to batter them?
I don't think Nottingham are going to win this game. But Arsenal are in a bit of a bad form. They're not as red hot in front as goal as they were And they got that early goal last week, and you thought, here goes the floodgates. It's going to be 3-4-0. It's Southampton, surely, especially at home. But that wasn't the case, and you allow a team to stay in the game long enough, they're going to get something from it, and they did. And I've honestly got a funny feeling they're going to do the same against Nottingham Forest. They could be buoyed for that. They'd have probably preferred back-to-back home games if they'd have known in hindsight, being a wonderful thing beating Liverpool. It'd be nice to keep the crowd there, keep the atmosphere there, but they will be rocking to go to the Emirates, and if they can keep Arsenal at 0-0 for the first 20 minutes, it's going to frustrate them. And I'm going to go 1-1. I think they'll get something from this Forest. I'm going to give them a point this week. I'm going to be nice. We're probably doing backflips over there thinking that. Sorry, Anthony, but I'm going to be nice. I think the dodgy form will continue and Forest can get something.
I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Brad. I've really got to type this, and hang on. There we go. 1-1. So Arsenal against Forest. You'll thank me, Brad. You'll thank me. In fairness, coming off that game, you are going to be Leicester have just come off 2 wins, and we look at it and go, okay, well, it was, we haven't lost in 5, we've got 3, we've got 3 clean sheets, but it was Palace, then it was Leeds, then it was Wolverhampton, really poor teams at the bottom, but those are the ones you've really got to make sure you're beating. But the morale boost that this must give Forest, having beat Liverpool, because I can say Liverpool could still be playing now and they wouldn't have scored. But unlike Brad, everybody, I am a true Leicester fan.
That's below the belt. There's no need for that.
Oh, yes, there is. I am a true Leicester fan. And I will never, ever give Forest a win or even a draw. And I predicted that they wouldn't go down. They would just survive, but I'm sorry. The badge, right? It's a badge. Look, well, there you go. The badge. Yes. Unlike Brad.
I'm going to go through every prediction show now just to see if that statement's true.
You try and find one where I predicted anything other than a Forest loss. I'm actually worried now, but I am going to go 3-0. To Arsenal. Let me just have a quick look, actually.
It's just scrolled up now, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. Go on.
No, I'm on a different screen for this, but what did I do last week? I went 5-0 to Liverpool last week.
Yeah, I think we all predicted a thrashing for them last week.
I went 4-0 to Brighton over Nottingham Forest. Where are we here?
I'm just making sure we remember the state.
Maybe I went for a draw there, but it was a boring 0-0. It was a boring.
No, told you that. They are exposed on a moon. You said it was a draw.
But no,
I feel dirty for doing so, and if it makes you feel better.
Good. So you should go off after this and have a wash down with the wet Daily Mail. That's what you should do. Steve, last game, it's the 2 Uniteds, Manchester. I don't know where to go with Manchester this season because they are they're in the middle of a rebuild, but when it comes up to playing the big teams, they seem to do well. That said, they've got their own version of Fofana, in the Portuguese pest. Most Man United fans seem to want him out. West Ham, they got a win the other night, which sort of gave them, mid-table, but they were below us before that game when they beat Bournemouth. And it was a dodgy win, to be honest with you, to fairness to West Ham. How do you see this one?
It's which West Ham team turn up. I think that's going to be the main thing. Man United now, I can't see Man United ever thrashing anybody anymore. They've not got that in them, I don't think. But like it's all down to West Ham, which West Ham team turn up. So
Yeah.
I'd like to say that West Ham are going to turn up, and I'm going to go for a 1-0 West Ham win.
Oh, wow. Okay. 0-1. Yeah. Judas there. What are you going for?
Judas after he reported his own 0-0, folks. I can't believe
Yeah,
this.
that was in the past. That doesn't count. I want about this.
Oh, right. Well, that prediction was in the past, so there we go. Manchester United versus West Ham. Neither team fill me with confidence that they're going to score like more than one in this game, because West Ham were really fortunate by all accounts of 2 VAR decisions. I haven't seen them, but I read about the controversy in there.
They were controversial.
Very, very controversial by all accounts. Manchester United just this season already. What's the difference between Ten Hag and Oli in terms of results and performances? I mean, should it really have taken 93 minutes, 3 goals against Chelsea, and they're celebrating out like they won the FA Cup final? But West Ham was flat to deceive for me this season. I know they're doing well in Europe, but they've still not really got going in the league. I think this might be last. The last for a reason on this list, and I think that's because of the scoreline it's going to be. I'm going to go 0-0.
You're going to go, wow, 0-0. Okay. Let me put that one in there. Oops. I did get that the right way round, didn't I, Steve, by the way? Manchester United 0, West Ham 1.
You did, yeah.
I did just want to check that. Now, for me, Man United, like I say from earlier, they're going through a rebuild. So I didn't expect them. And I think most, most Man United fans are actually giving Ten Hag time. He's got to get rid of a few players are disruptive, like Arsenal did. We know that Ronaldo, look at him, you know what I mean? I mean, there's so many Man United fans want him gone. But they are 6th, and if you're looking at the form table at the moment, Manchester United are 5th in the form table, just 1 place above Leicester, and West Ham are 7th in the form table, just 1 place. So we are in a Man United West Ham sandwich. Ooh, that's a horrible thought, isn't it? But I'm impressed with Ten Hag, to be honest with you. I think Moyes could be under a bit of pressure, and I am going to go 2-0 to Manchester United. I mean, they did celebrate that goal, but it was a last-minute goal. To be honest with you, thank God for technology, because the ball was so over it was over the line, but without VAR or goal line technology, the watch, whatever, that was not given. But it was, he got the goal. You could argue that they maybe should have killed off Chelsea earlier, but I just think they're going to have too much. It's at Old Trafford. I am going to go for a Manchester United win. Let's have a look what we have got here. Man United 2, West Ham 2, says Anthony. Doug is in. Good evening, Doug. How devil are you? One job again, Doug. You had 1 job against Forest. You've got 1 job against Leeds. Don't let me down 2 weeks running, mate. Luke, Luke's going to enjoy this all season as a Forest fan. Doug managed to heal from the pain yet? Bournemouth fan is in. 2-2, Bournemouth and Tottenham. I've just watched a 7-goal thriller between Benfica and Juventus. Obviously, Liverpool weren't playing if it was 7 goals. That's me just messaging him there. Bournemouth 2, Tottenham 1. He's changed his mind. He's gone for a Bournemouth win. I like to do an Arsenal win, but Nottingham are a bogey team for us. Don't say that. Don't say that. You'll be turning into Brad. And a quick question here. We don't normally do questions today, but a quick question for you, Steve. Who is the hardest defender you came up against in your career, and why?
Hardest defender. Oh God, that's a hard one. I think Mark Dennis when he was at Southampton, because we played together when we was at Birmingham. He seemed to know what I would do, and I seemed to know what he did. But to be fair, I did struggle that game. So on that basis, I think it was Mark Dennis when he played for Southampton.
Could you not just have swum past him?
Oh, I tried that, but then he just hacked me down from the waist down. Because that
didn't work then.
That's how he was. Because he knew I was going to push the ball past him and go, and he just chopped me down.
Right.
It was a case. It was a frustrating game for me, that one. But,
Well,
it's
been great to have you back, Steve. Thank you so very much for coming on.
enjoy it.
Having had your Auf Wiedersehen pet holiday in Germany, I say working. Welcome back to the streets of, is it Birmingham, where you're working?
Yeah, just outside, Warsaw, Wolverhampton, so Beirut.
I never said that. Steve, mate, thank you very much as always for coming on. Hopefully see you next Tuesday. We've only got a few weeks left and then it's the old World Cup. So, funny season. It's going to be a funny season all around. Take care, Steve. All the best to you and all your family. And thank you very much for coming on.
I enjoyed it. Thanks very much. See you later.
Cheers. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So, Judas, what? Yeah.
Where's that recycle boy? Where is it?
Yeah, you're not Jesus. We thought you were Jesus for all this time. We know. You're back tomorrow at 9.
Yeah. Well, I am. If people will get back in touch with me, Anthony, you need to message me. He knows why if he's still here. But yeah, hopefully I'm doing a show tomorrow at this rate.
Just to let you know, it doesn't look like you are on YouTube because you haven't got a thumbnail up there.
Oh, for God's sake, I'll sort that out. I'll see what's going on there.
Just to let you know. But
Cheers,
9 o'clock on top 10 battles. And what are we top 10 in tomorrow?
Well,
we're that turn on the clubs.
Well, yeah. Many shows that might come that way of that degree, but we're actually starting the show. Funny enough, how you started this show tonight, talking about Danny Ward, because we are giving our top 10 all-time Premier League goalkeepers. So that's whether they're playing or retired, obviously all times from the start of the Premier League. It's just listing who you feel is your top 10 Premier League goalkeepers. It's going to be a fun show. Hopefully, if people that are on it are available, and Anthony's just said he's going to message me there. So that's at least one person will be with me. Depending on how Dan and his other half and that feeling, hopefully he'll be on.
He's done a show tonight, so I'm pretty sure he
will. Well, hopefully, but I know they've not been too well. So
depending how my thing goes tomorrow, I will try and tune in.
Yeah.
Depending how I'm walking, I could be doing a John Wayne, of course.
At least the Pilgrims would be happy.
And I tell you what, if you do not put Spider Kalich in there, I'm unsubscribing. I am never gonna talk. I mean, I will forgive you because it was a draw and not an actual win. But no Spider.
I'd never do that, Chris. I'd never do that. No, there's a line.
Yeah, and the line is not putting Spider Kalich in the top 10 Premier League goalkeepers. I'm sorry.
Well, you know, Chris, just for you, I might find a way to get him into the show, mate.
At least a mention.
Well, there you go. You never know.
Top 10 battles on YouTube. Make sure to go and follow Brad and subscribe him, and at Full-Time Focus on Twitter. And of course, he's always here. And he details are in the chat below as always. Mate, thank you so much for coming on.
No worries, mate. Enjoy it as always.
And you are you're only 6 points ahead now.
That'll get extended after this week. Don't worry about it, mate. Steve's back. Normal order always resumes.
Indeed, it will. Take care, buddy. Enjoy the show tomorrow.
Take care, mate. See ya.
Cheers. Thanks to Brad there. I'm probably not going to be on in any form tomorrow. I will be back on the Thursday. It's not 9 o'clock. It's going to be 7:45 for the Manchester City preview. Looking forward to that. Not. Thanks everybody for watching. If you haven't done to this channel yet, please make sure that you do what my little friend Mini Me says here, and please give us a subscribe. And if you have subscribed, please press that like button. I can't tell you how much that does help the channel. It takes us onto people's home pages that will see us. We're trying to get to 1.5 before the World Cup in subscribers. We're at 1.48. We're about 25 away, please, or 15 away. I mean, please give us a subscribe if you've not. And if you have, please press that like button. Thank you so much to everybody that was in the chat in some form or another with your predictions. Luke, it's always a pleasure to see you, mate. You take the banter, you give it. That's what I like to see. Thanks to Steve. Nice to have him back. I will be back, like I say, on Thursday, day off tomorrow for reasons, and I will see you then. Stay safe, and remember what I always say: don't do anything I wouldn't enjoy.
That's all, folks.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye, and see you next time.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
Leicester Till I Die TV. They think